We're detectives with the Major Violators section, and this is Inside HCSO.
QF 47 and 37 are dispatched.
SO1, we've got them. 1015 times 1, stand by.
337-820-584.
Here's some of what's ahead on Inside HCSO. A thief pries his way into a pizza shop. A burglary investigation leads to a cockfighting operation. And detectives pounce on a gang member who was selling methamphetamine. Hello and welcome. I'm Captain Chad Chronister. Take a few minutes and get to know the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, our personnel, and how we serve and protect every day. Let's make it happen. Let's go inside HCSO. A certified gang member peddling large amounts of Mexican methamphetamine gets an introduction to our Special Investigations Division. Here's more.
The Major Violators Unit out of the Special Investigations Division received some information that a suspect was selling large amounts of methamphetamine in the eastern side of Hillsborough County. Based on that information, we were able to get an undercover detective introduced to the suspect and conduct some methamphetamine buys from him. The suspect arrived in an area in Plant City. In his possession, there was approximately 6 ounces of methamphetamine and also a loaded .45 caliber firearm. In his residence, we located an additional 3 to 4 ounces of methamphetamine, altogether totaling just over a half pound of methamphetamine that was seized during the investigation. The suspect was charged with armed trafficking of methamphetamine over 200 grams, and he was also charged with racketeering due to his involvement in the SIR 13 gang.
A deputy spots a motorist not wearing a seatbelt and uncovers all sorts of crimes. Take a look.
I was conducting traffic enforcement down in Palm River, Claremelle area. About 11 o'clock in the morning, observed a maroon in color Ford Taurus vehicle traveling southbound, and the driver's side window was down. Observed a male inside the vehicle. He didn't have his seatbelt on, and I subsequently conducted a traffic stop, and at that point in time I determined that the license plate was stolen. I determined the identity of the driver, determined he was driving on suspended licenses with about 11 suspensions total. Placed him under arrest, and during the course of a vehicle inventory started locating some items inside the vehicle that were of high dollar, high value. Nook tablets, cell phones, that type of thing. I started also finding identifications, credit cards, driver's licenses, social security cards of other people that were not obviously passengers inside the car. Charged the driver with multiple felonies at that point in time, including driving offenses, but it all stemmed from a seatbelt violation.
Deputies watch as a bunch of burglars bust through the wall of a drive-through beverage business. That bungled crime led us to a load of stolen goods and a lucrative cockfighting operation.
The sheriff's office throughout the county noticed that we're having multiple business burglaries, which involved suspects smashing 2 holes in the concrete wall in adjacent businesses to gain access into a primary business. Surveillance was set up one night when we followed the suspects to a beverage castle on MLK Boulevard in the Sefna area, when detectives observed 4 suspects breaking into the beverage castle based on using a sledgehammer to break in through the concrete wall. With support from K9 and Aviation, 3 of the 4 suspects were caught that night. Once the suspects were arrested, a search warrant was authored at a residence. A lot of stolen property was recovered, several pounds of marijuana, and approximately 50 roosters were caged and being bred for fighting. They were all well taken care of. There were spurs there and medicine, so when the birds were injured, the owner of the birds would fix and mend the birds and get them ready for their next fight. There is a lot of money to be made on betting on the rooster fights. We didn't go there with the intention of finding that many roosters or a fighting ring. We went there with the intention of finding a lot of stolen property, which we did, and we stumbled across the roosters.
Check out this surveillance video from a family pizza shop. The camera caught a burglar smashing his way through the front door of Gondolier Pizza on Sheldon Road in Town and Country. About 2 hours after the owners closed for the night, the criminal approached the front door carrying a crowbar. He wore a white towel or t-shirt over his head. He used a crowbar to break the door's glass and headed for the cash registers. He snatched some money bags and disappeared into the night. If you have any ideas who this guy is, give us a call or send us an email.
On March 2nd, 2014, at approximately 4 p.m., an unknown black male suspect in a red Infiniti Q45 unlawfully shot Damon Bowie in the head, killing him instantly. The incident occurred at the Avesta Apartments, which are located at the intersection of 50th Street and Sly Avenue. During the investigation, it was learned there were several witnesses to the incident who to date have not come forward to provide any information. Additionally, the red Infiniti was observed with several suspects inside, pulling into the snack attack across the street from Avesta Apartments just prior to the shooting. After leaving the snack attack, the red Infiniti drives across the street to Avesta Apartments. One of the suspects exits the vehicle, contacts the victim, and shoots the victim before the red Infiniti flees on Sly Avenue. To date, no arrests have been made on this case. Hi, I'm Detective Garcia with Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit. If you have any information, please help us give the Bowie family some justice for their son, Damien.
Summertime, sunshine, the water, boats, it's an awesome mix. But don't forget the most important ingredient, safety. Here's Deputy Scott Jones with more.
The Sheriff's Office, we do a lot of boating safety laws. We enforce a law which requires everybody on a boat to have a wearable life jacket as well as a Type 4 throwable device on the boat. And we also look for fire extinguishers, sound producing device, flares, depending on the area they're in. When we were talking about safety equipment, we're talking about the PFD. Everybody needs to have a wearable life jacket on board, this type of life jacket. A Type 4 throwable device, whether it be a square cushion that's Coast Guard approved or a throw ring with the line attached, a fire extinguisher of some sort, a regular marine grade fire extinguisher, and as well a sound producing device. And then also we enforce the manatee zones, the idle speed zones as well. And then we also look for careless or reckless operation while they're out on the water. But a good common sense for a boating day, gets the citizens by. If they use common sense and abide by the laws, they should have a good, enjoyable, safe weekend. Throughout the Port of Tampa, there are still areas that are closed to recreation boating traffic. Ybor Channel, anything north of the Victory ship is still closed. Places in Port Sutton, they're marked, the closed areas are marked where vessel traffic is not allowed. Also down by Big Bend, that area, parts of that area is still closed. But by federal law, the violation of, or being in violation of a closed area, you're actually subject to a $25,000 fine and or seizure of your boat. So the areas that are closed, people do have to be aware of them. If you receive a citation, it's a civil citation, you have to pay a fine. They have moving violations, which are $90, and then you have your non-moving, which is more your safety violations, and those are $53. Well, with BUIs, it's boating under the influence. The laws by statute are the same. It's 0.08 and you're legally intoxicated. You can't operate a boat. But on a boat, you're allowed to have an open container on the boat, but the operator or the person in control of the boat can't be impaired or under the influence. It seems like the citizens out there are more prepared. Safety equipment is definitely high on their priority list, as well as just the lack of, I guess, as far as a law enforcement aspect, the people are actually paying attention out there. They're using common sense. There were a lot of people out there, but it seemed like everybody was abiding by the law. The Sheriff's Office, we'll just do a quick safety check. Yes, sir. Just do a quick safety check all your paperwork, and get you on the way. 2 wearable life jackets. I see your Type 4 throwable. 1. Okay. Very good. And your fire extinguisher, sir, if you can just unbuckle that just to make sure that. The Coast Guard puts out a pamphlet to let everybody know what, by law, they're required to have on a boat when they go out on the water.
That'll do it for another episode of Inside HCSO. Thank you for watching. Sheriff David G. appreciates your interest and your support. You can always keep up with us on Facebook, and on Twitter. Recently, our SWAT operators were treated to a lunch at Eddie V's in a show of appreciation for all they do. Awards were presented to Corporal Terry Martin for longevity on the team, Detective Troy Durrance for excellence, and Master Sergeant Jimmy Giovanco for dedication. Hey, it's that time of year again when you can help us with getting some deserving children ready for school. We have placed school supply collection boxes at all of our district and division offices throughout the county. We hope to see you next time on Inside HCSO. Until then, stay safe, Hillsborough County.